Dooba dooba doo. Say something again for me.
Checking. One,
Yep,
two,
you're
three.
good. You are
Okay.
good.
The question is, are we visual?
I will tell you momentarily. Hmm. Hold on, everybody. We're trying to come to your local computer. Come on. You can do it. Come on, you can do it.
Well, I found this. Okay, so does seem like we are live. I just can't hear us. Let me check myself.
I am. I can hear you fine.
There we go. Okay. There is a vocal. All right. Good. Sorry, everybody. I tried to do it myself, but for some reason it didn't want to work with me, and I don't know if everybody's being shown this. So if you are here during the VODs, be sure to share it with everybody. Be sure to share it with everybody. Like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good time with us today. I'm sorry. I was thinking that I could just do it myself. No, we're not scheduling a new one. I just don't see it on my timeline. And that's where I don't like it. I can't see it on my timeline, and I want to be able to see it, but I don't see it.
Well,
Um,
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like I
there he
said,
goes. There it is. There it is. Good.
I
We
know
are
that I
live.
know that we are live, but anyway,
Okay, so this is the Bear Thoughts podcast. We do it every Wednesday at 5 o'clock CPT time here at the Bear Thoughts channel. We are almost 10 away, technically, or 11 away from 100. So please help us to get there today, or get there this month, or get this year. I would really appreciate it if you spread the name around. If you like this podcast, help us around. And as always, we got some merchandise below. I added one more hat down there because somebody suggested it. And I hope if you do, do get one, be sure to share it to me on Twitter or Facebook, whatever you might have, whatever you might have. Be sure to share it with us and let me see it. I'd like to see you wearing, I'd like you to see you sporting it. But this week we do have a couple topic pieces that I got to come up with in my head, but these are current day things, and some things are kind of on my mind. And I'm gonna start with this one before I forget it.
hello anime.
And hmm?
I said hello anime,
So anime's here. Okay, I
and
dropped mine.
looks like Michelle is here too,
Hey, Michael.
or Michael.
Um, it's all right. So let me start this off with. I'm sure you are well aware of the tragedy that happened in Texas, right?
Yep.
Okay, so um somebody during when they brought up the fact that if people cannot get a hold of certain guns and stuff like that, that the advancement on 3D printing will one day become a problem. And you can find on my brain patterns here. They
Yeah.
brought up the fact that 3D printing guns will become a thing. And I am a mind of no, it won't, because you need, like, even though you can shoot out of a plastic one, maybe one or two shots rounds out of it, it will never be able to fully withstand the bullets and the gunpowder for a long period of time where you could 3D print you a gun that will be the test of time. Like it will not last.
I hate to say this, but that's not actually accurate. um,
Well,
they they
what's
are
your thoughts
already
on it?
they are already printing 3D printing in aluminum, so it begs that
That's
it
that's
begs
the point I was
it,
going to get
it
to.
begs that it won't be long that they're gonna come up with a way to print steel.
Yeah, that's the
And
point I was going to
honestly,
go.
the idea of doing it is not hard. You
Hmm.
need molten steel, and you need something that can control
Yes, we are.
the trajectory of the molten steel, and something that could possibly sustain the form of whatever casting tool or whatever you want to use. Problem is, yes, I agree with you. We're not there yet, so it'll be a long time before we get to that point.
Okay,
Do I think that that current technology is going to lend to that? No, because
no.
you can go out there. I mean, To be perfectly honest, I can go down to my printer right now and print all the components I need to make a little handgun. The truth of the matter is, even if it's completely solid and doesn't do any damage to me when firing it, it's only good for maybe one shot. Um, and and,
And
and that's not feasible in a real situation of life and death.
yeah, and some people have printed out some parts for their handguns to enhance it without being outside of legal scope of what's feasible and what's legal within your states. But criminal uh, bypass the system, they will. But this is where we're going to go here. Because you brought up the aluminum thing, and it will be on a matter of time. And that's what I was asking before stream. At what point, if ever, do you think 3D printing like that should be in the masses' hands? And if so, should we put an age restriction on that type of technology?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with age restriction, though, man. You can slap a label on anything and say you can't operate this unless you're a certain age. But let's be honest, they're gonna do what the hell they want to do. Even if you outlaw this shit, they're gonna do what the hell they want to do. If someone chooses to say the technology is ready tomorrow to be able to print fully functioning weapons, if somebody chooses to do that, it doesn't make a damn what the government or anybody else says, what label they put on it, or anything else. People are gonna do what they want to do, regardless. So they're gonna do it. It's just like anything else that's illegal. I mean, how many times have you been at a crosswalk, looked over there at the lights, and it said, "Hey, you can't go yet," but there's nobody coming, and you walk any fucking way? That's illegal too. We do it. Why? Because we want to. We don't want to stand there no longer. We're impatient. Human beings are impatient by nature. It doesn't matter what technology we get our hands on, whether it's 3D printing, computing, cars, planes. We've turned everything into whatever the hell we want to turn it into. We've made missiles to go on planes that were supposed to be conveyances for people to get from point A to point B. We've turned cars into tanks because, hey, why not drive a big freaking cannon up to the enemy's doorstep?
You don't like a tank.
I mean, you can try all you want to try to stamp out new technology, but new technology will always survive. It'll always have something, and that's just because there's going to be people to do what they want to do. Why?
Okay, well, yeah, you're a little moving weirdly, but for some reason I'm still a little fluent. I don't get that at all.
I think I know why. Hang on.
Okay, so
let's see if that fixes it.
I get it, right? People will find a way to get it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, should the technology be in a reach of the average day consumer, like that technology where you can actually print you actual weapons? Like, they even said, like, oh, 3D printers are a danger. I'm like, yeah, they're made out of plastic though. But then soon you say, yeah, now you can 3D print with metal. That's where
plastic's dangerous too. I can print a shank off of a damn 3D printer and shank your ass to death. It doesn't matter. It's not what the printer prints out of or how it prints. It's what you're going to use the printer for. They keep going about saying, remove this technology from use, remove this technology from use. This won't happen if you can't do it. You're full of shit. We're humans. We use ingenuity by nature. If I can't go in there and print a knife and I ain't got a knife, I go in the damn backyard and I'll make a knife out of wood, stone, whatever the hell.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is, while a shank can do some damage, it's the overall amount of damage that one item can do comparatively down to a boom boom stick. Like a shank, yeah, that literally, even out of plastic, it can hold up a little bit longer than a gun, but it won't hold up as longer than a shank made out of steel.
Well, that's my scale comparison. That's going to depend on how proficient the user is.
Just don't ever twist or move your wrist. You better be straightforward. You better be.
I got one that I printed on my printer right now. I could twist, I could slice, I could dice, I can do whatever the hell I want to with it. It's all about how you print it. I printed mine solid. There is
Would it
no
be better than a metal knife
there is
in longevity?
I mean it's not gonna rust
Well, yeah, sure. But
unless
also,
the shit falls in fire or I snap it. I
yeah,
mean
but it's like how often, how many people can you take down at one time, though? One.
depends on how many I'm toting.
Better get some throwing ones, I guess. I
I
don't know.
mean
I have a feeling
it's
like
all about proficiency, man. I mean it's all about what you're willing to do. Like I said, I don't need a 3D printer to make a gun at home. I can go down there in my damn toolbox with spare parts and make one if I want to.
okay, somebody said look up.
All a gun is that is something to fire a missile or projectile. Anybody ever made a potato gun?
I have,
Yes.
I think.
My
When I was
point my
younger.
point is that you can make something. Hell, I can make something out of the spare parts of PVC and shit I got down the hall that don't need but one round to take down 20 folks because I'm gonna pack that bitch full of shit. When it blasts, it's gonna hit a wide range like a shotgun. I mean, it's just
Stop it.
I
Sorry.
honestly think that what is that what it is? I honestly think that what it boils down to is people are so willing to put the blame on an object and not the person's intent.
Oh yeah, the person that's always what should be the first thing that
I mean,
comes to
I hate
mind.
to tell y'all, but there ain't a single damn gun in the history of guns that ever pulled its own trigger. Even the accidents. Even the accidents. Something pulled the trigger. It didn't do it itself.
Yeah, it's always about the individual, and of course, the cops did a terrible job. You know, it's I can't say it's not unheard of, but it was just a bad situation. And I would just they brought this up because they were saying, well, whether or not a kid can hold of it right now, in the future, the 3D printing is going to be a point where kids are just going to go, you know, mom and dad, you know, said I can't have one. It's illegal for me to have one, but I can just 3D print me one, and I can still do what I want to do because, you know, I'm mentally broken. And I'm just thinking, like, well, you can't very good with plastic, but then it's like, well, three.
You'd be surprised at what you can do.
Yeah, if it's someone's ingenuity, but it could be. It's. I'm talking about. Well, at this point, I'm talking about kids or teenagers. Their ingenuity is not going to be that good. More in adults and more older generations might have a better idea with it. But
Maybe.
kids are getting smarter
I
nowadays.
mean, maybe that was your experience, but there wasn't a single kid that I didn't go to school with that couldn't make a boom boom from home at 15, 12.
My school wasn't the smartest. Yeah, kitties being bad.
It
Okay, so
wasn't
somebody
that,
maybe
that
look up.
it wasn't that we were smart. It was just that when we wanted to do something, we damn did it. I mean, I didn't have a BB gun when I first started hunting squirrels, so I made something to hunt them with.
It keeps on jumping back in my lap, and I'm about to kick this thing out. So give me a second here. Okay, um, so you're thinking we should never probably have to worry about illegal or making it illegal or making it a age restricted device to be able to.
My point of view is that I can see them making it age restricted. I can see that. I can see it happening. What I don't what I'm saying is I don't see it making any damn difference.
So you don't think it will
I can
slow
I
down
can see them
progression?
even trying to make 3D printing illegal. It's still not going to make a damn bit of difference.
Mm.
Because I want them to come to my house and try to take my printer. They're going to find out what my boom boom stick looks like. That shit's
Uh,
mine. I bought and paid for it. It legally belongs to me.
so okay, bring this up. What kind of thing other than a weapon, um, Do you think the usage of a 3D printer, a personal home 3D printer that consumers of any age could buy, a
Okay,
metal
so
printer would be
we
useful
can go
for?
down that route. I have made shelving brackets. I have made shelves. I have made housings. Hell, I just showed you beforehand. I'm making an outdoor covering for one of my security cameras to keep it out of the weather. I mean, there's tons of things you can do with it other than make weapons. I mean, my first thought when I go to my printer, it no let me print a gun. My first thought is what's something that I need? You know what? I need a cover for that camera because it keeps getting rained on.
Mm.
Or hey, I want to add a shelf back there, but I don't have the money to go get a metal shelving bracket. You know what? Fuck it, I'll just print it.
Okay, I can see that. I would definitely do some fasteners. I wouldn't do well. I don't know. I would definitely be curious about screws would work or not. Screws or bolts or stuff like that. Some tensioners or maybe a clamp or stuff like that would be my thought. But people always find, like I said, the criminals they will find loopholes. You give them away, they'll find the will to do something evil with it. That's just how their thoughts. And once they said they're going to do something, people need to stop looking at people and going, if they say they're going to do it, they're most likely not going to do it. No, no, no. If they say they're going to do it, you should probably still look into it. Just at least look into it.
Yeah, I mean,
And somebody says, I'm going to get a 3D printer, I'm going to print me a gun, I'm going to shoot everybody, you might want to take a 3D printer away. Just in case.
like I said, it comes down to the human element. Is what it comes down to. I think my camera's acting flaky, is what it is, because nothing else is lagging. So
Yeah,
give me a second.
you're laggy, but I'm not. It's kind of weird, but it's whatever.
I'm gonna
So
reboot my
okay,
camera. Give me a second.
a bomb. Well, you could probably 3D print yourself a shell for a bomb out of plastic. It's the stuff that's inside of it that's going to be that dangerous, and then the shrapnel of the plastic when she goes into your skin or your arteries or your eyeball into your brain with such velocity and speed. That's still possible right now. I'm not saying anybody should do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. But it's not impossible right now. But if you made it out of metal or aluminum, that's just more or harder, denser material that going at a very, very fast speed that what might pierce you. So yeah, it's still very, very much possible.
Yes.
Have you asked the FBI or CIA? No, I have not asked them because I don't really know anybody that could ask them. Like, hey, if they made 3D printing of metal 3D printers viable to consumers, would y'all age restricted? I honestly kind of hope they would, because even if it still finds itself or find its way into younger generations or younger people's hands, it will still slow it down a little bit. Like it's kind of like rated R video games or movies. While it's not entirely available to them, they still get access to it thanks to the mother and fathers. It's still there's still some out there that goes, wait, that's you're too young for that. You're not allowed to have that, so we're not going to give that to you. There's still adults out there that still follow those guidelines, follow those rules, and that is just one barrier. Why it's not a physical barrier? It's a mental barrier that some people still hold tight onto and stop them from doing. But doesn't mean they will always do it. Sometimes,
Oh.
like let's be real here. My mom's bought me, or my family's older brothers bought me some things that I shouldn't have had when I was younger. But they were willing to buy it for me, so I got it. Doesn't mean it was right. I still got it.
Yeah,
And
my
3D printing could be the
camera's
same
my
thing.
camera's being flaky right now, so I have no visual.
But if you're here, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this stuff around. Links down below if you want to look at the merchandise. Well, no, not this one. No, not this one. I have to put the links down here. Michael, I know you're interested in it. So let me go ahead and put it in the chat if I can while he's fixing his stuff here. But how's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing fine today. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's life is doing well. I'm trying to bullshit while I'm trying to get my own links here. Okay, so next topic. We're gonna jump into this one. This is the easy one. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
The
What
circus?
was it? Oh yeah, the circus. That was this scene. Honestly, The verdict, I thought it would have been here day one. Is it just me? Like I get the questionnaire that they were asking, but I even then I thought the answers or the question would be answered within that very day. It's like, yeah, y'all can go and talk amongst yourselves about what y'all want to do. Yeah, we don't need to. Guilty. I don't know. It's just me, or is it just my thoughts that it was obvious and uh blatant that it was all fabricated. And for those who did not know, Johnny won all his allegations or claims. Amber won one, and I'm winning one. Honestly, I thought she would lose all of them. I'm putting the link to the chat here, so those who are curious, I don't know if that one link worked or not, but there's the other link. And if you go to the Grumpy Bear page itself, you'll find all the rest of the merchandise still available. And there's 3 hats. Well, 2 hats and 1 beanie.
Why is this stupid camera doing this?
Okay, so while he's doing that, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the verdict and on the things. I know he wasn't worried about the money, and I know he wasn't really going there for the money, but he needed a way of guess paying for the damages that she's done to him. And this whole trial was really a way to show that he was innocent, and movie deals might start coming his way again. And for those who did not hear, I've heard it already myself, and Corvo told me about it again. He might get the role for the new upcoming Beetlejuice movie, which honestly he definitely fits that role pretty good. And I know, again, another money wasn't really the thing he was aiming for, but I feel like he should have got more money, and this is why. Not because of greed, not because of financial gain. It would have hurt her more. It would not have gave her the opportunity or to even be able to pay off the thing that she promised to pay off. And Johnny Depp took that money and went, "Well, you're not paying for it. The thing that you promised you're paying for when the divorce is going, I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna put that $700 into that thing, to that charity, and then I'm gonna go, hey, look. She didn't do it. She pledged to do it. Now she don't have the money to do it, but don't worry. I've done it before because Johnny Depp has done it before. I won't pledge. I will donate. I will give the money." And I'm not saying Johnny Depp still can't do that. I just think it would have been that's much more sweeter if Johnny could take the majority of the money, or all the money, took that and went, "Here's a cherry on top," and showed off that he was more responsible and more true to his word. And in the overall arcing of the situation, Amber put a big damper on the movement. And honestly, I'm a man. People say believe all. I do not believe all. I never believed all. I'm a man. I question everybody and everything, regardless. But if I know you, I have some grounds.
What it boils down to was that she doesn't. She thought she had him by the balls. Because, well,
He's a man.
She's her, and she, like, they even, when they read it off, one of the questions pretty much states straight out that, that the police officers show up to a scene that they were called to, check, and find nothing. So then, after they leave, they mess everything up and call them back. So there's something for them to find. To me, that is like classic, I'm setting your ass up.
Yeah. With all the camera recordings, all the
okay, so looks like I'm going to be without video because I cannot get this thing going and my other camera is not here.
technical issue problems, everybody. Don't worry, it'll be all right. I will try to be as handsome as him to push forward. He was usually the face, and I was usually the ass. So,
Funny.
but anyways, so I feel like this will be a damper to it. I think it needed it. I think it needed. Because I couldn't tell you how many cases I heard online, I saw online, once that movement started going, that all these people came out of woodworks, and some of them were just like Johnny, where I was like, it's blatant that she's just using this movement to get over on this guy, but because he's not rich, he's not famous, and he's a man at this point, that he just immediately went to jail.
Yeah.
But what can a man like me say? It's like, I know there's some bad ones out there. There's some terrible ones out there. There's also some terrible women. There's evil on both sides. There are truth and there's lies. And there's always two sides of the coin. And because Johnny Depp was rich and she was rich, and it was broadcast all over the internet for everybody to see, and your grandmother, it was able to be shown like, hey, there was something clearly foul play here.
Agreed.
And I don't feel like if it ever happens to me, I'm screwed. But now that this happened, maybe I have a chance. If it were to ever happen to me.
Agreed.
Knock on wood, it never happens to me. Oh, I don't step on nobody's toes. Don't step on mine, please.
Hello.
So I feel like this. Hey, got a face. I feel like this should put up a way of not ending the movement, because I don't want it to end. I want you to believe people, but it shouldn't be believe all women. It should just believe. It should be believe into or don't believe into proven guilty. It should be that line. It should be that line all over again. Innocent until
guilty.
Nowadays, not. It's just guilty until guilty. It feels like it. You're guilty on proxy, rather than guilty on.
You're guilty on the basis of I said you're guilty. Damn it.
Yeah. Your webcam is picking you up, not your microphone.
My webcam is picking me up. All right, hold on a minute. Hey, nothing but technical difficulties today. It looks like.
Because I can definitely tell there's some space between you and the microphone.
All right, try that. That better.
There we go. That's it.
All right.
Okay.
So anyway.
So what's your thoughts on Amber winning, even just one, and what's your thoughts on the movement?
Listen, there was no way she wasn't going to win the one that she did win, because the statement that they did say that she won literally had her name in it. Okay, so there was no way to dispute that wasn't aimed at her. But the fact of the matter is, they literally had to hunt something down that had her name in it for her to be in the positive light of any of this. Both of the other statements that did not have her name in it, she was not found to be in the right. As well as not a single one of Johnny's claims did they say, oh, he didn't prove it? No, literally every one of them. Did Johnny Depp, prove within the shadow of a doubt that blah, 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 blah? Yes. Did he blah, 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 blah? Yes. I mean, it was yes, all the way down the list for Johnny. There was not a single no. Not one. And the thing about it is I'm not saying Johnny was in the right. I mean, if you go back and watch what he says and what he's done and some of the evidence, it's evident, as he admitted himself. I was belligerent. I did say hurtful things. I did mess with her mind some. He never said that he didn't do any of those forms of abuse. What he did say was, though, is I never beat her. Ever.
Yes.
I never physically touched her in a harmful way.
Well, society will definitely say, though, words are just as harmful as a physical abuse.
And that's fine. And he was willing to live with that label. What he wasn't willing to do was be labeled someone as a wife beater. He was not a beater. He did not physically assault his wife.
Okay, so one thing about the her name being in it, I thought she was she was getting back at Johnny because they were alleging Johnny told his ex lawyer to say
Oh
something
no,
about
this all started before that. Johnny brought the suit originally against her for defaming his name in that op-ed that she wrote. Okay? She countersued after that lawyer made his 3 statements, out of which only one actually had her name in it and was directed at her.
Was
the
it
others,
Johnny?
No. It was just it was just basically saying that Amber Heard's story and blah 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 was bullshit. But because he put her name in it, it was aimed at her. The other 2 statements, if you pay attention, were aimed at a general audience. It was just a statement. Basically, like, one of them was like, the BS about Johnny's physical abuse is about to come to an end. Her name wasn't in it. That was just him making a statement to the masses.
Okay, so was it proven that was actually Johnny that said it, or someone that
Nobody ever proved that Johnny said it. All they ever said was that Walden made the comments. Johnny was found to have to pay the money that he paid for that one statement because by proxy, because he was under an agency, that lawyer was, he's considered an agent, which is an extension of Johnny, which makes Johnny guilty. But if that lawyer had not been under an agency, had not been considered an agent, a proxy of Johnny, Johnny couldn't have been held accountable for that because Johnny didn't say it. That's another, just a person that said it.
Yeah.
So
I was in a mind that was just like, hey, yeah, he was my lawyer, but I didn't make him go off and say that. Like, I didn't pay him go say that online.
No, I mean, and you will never know whether Johnny actually told him to say it or not. We're not going to know that. That's just not something that's going to come out.
No, it's not.
Because if he's smart, he won't admit to Johnny telling him shit, and Johnny's not going to admit to telling him shit if he did. The only thing that got him tied up in a knot and got Johnny having to pay any amount of money back was the fact that he put her name in one of the statements. If he had not put her name in one of the statements and left it general like he did the other 2, this wouldn't be an issue. Because then it would have not been looked at as a statement as slander towards her, but a statement to the general masses that were following the trial.
Okay.
Which is why the other 2, she didn't win on.
Yeah, hindsight being 2020. Okay, so, and also, I don't think it's going to be too much because when it comes to the verbal things, because they were both nasty to each other. They were both very nasty to each other, both very say some mean things. But what will stick on Amber forever will be Amber Turd. That will never be anything. Anytime someone does anything like that, it will always be Amber Turd. And evermore, that will always be something that sticks with her. But they were both very nasty
something that
to
sticks
each
with
other
his
on video
sheets
and
too,
audio.
but that's the point.
Yeah. I would rather be just labeled as someone that was verbally mean. But then again, when you're having fights and you're arguing with each other, someone's gonna say something maybe a little nasty.
Yeah, tell me at one argument that you and your wife has had, an actual argument where one of the 2 of you did not say something that was hurtful to the other one. Tell me one.
It happens.
Everybody is verbally abused. Hell, everybody is emotionally abused to some point because you know that when you say those hurtful things, whether you mean them or not, it affects their emotional state. You know this. But what he was trying to put out there, and like I said, he's not innocent. He shouldn't have verbally abused her. Hell, he shouldn't have emotionally abused her. You shouldn't abuse anybody any kind of way, man, woman, child. But he admitted to his alcohol, his drug, the emotional abuse, the verbal abuse, the slander in the text messages. He admitted all that. Now, if somebody was willing to admit to all these nasty, nasty ass things, why would he not just say, "Hey, yeah, I beat the shit out of her"? Why wouldn't he? There's not a real reason, because the mind frame, the type of mind he has, it's either all or nothing. What he didn't like was being accused of something he didn't do. And that's how all this shit come around.
Yeah, and of course it was her antagonizing him, going, "Yeah, go ahead and say something. No one's gonna believe you. You're a man."
Yeah, I mean, there's a fucking recording of her saying that very thing. You
Like,
know?
yeah, you're a man. Who's gonna believe you? You're a dude. You're a guy. No one's gonna believe you online. No one's gonna believe you at
You're
all.
just a big baby, Johnny. You always run away to the bathroom. Wait, now, if he's physically abusing you, why is this man leaving the room and going to the bathroom to get away from the argument?
And it's at the same time, like again, it's all boils down to they were both bad people, but it only takes rich and famous movie stars to be able to admit, yes, I did drugs and STDs or no STDs.
I hope he didn't do STDs. Damn.
Done meth and cocaine and mushrooms, and yeah, I'm not going to jail afterwards.
Well, here's my thing. This is what gets me. Okay, he admitted to enrolling in getting sober, right?
Yeah.
It come out in court that she refused to give him the medication the doctor was trying to give him to keep him from going through withdrawal while he was getting sober. What the fuck? That's abuse. That is abuse. That is not
Yes.
that's not just like mental abuse. Hell, that's physical abuse. Have you ever seen anybody go through withdrawals? That shit wrecks your body. That is an amount of pain that no baseball bat, bottle, or anything else is going to bring to you.
Yeah, and all the video recordings of her, trying to like fucking magic the card gathering, rolling of the fingers to put a pill in her mouth, or the officer that ran to get her water bottle out of the trash can when she left to go check for what was inside of it after online's already broadcasted for days. What is it, honey? Don't let the little cat in here, because
And the other side of that shit is like, I mean, how do you deal with that? Ethan, go now.
How you deal with that? I don't know how you deal with that. Honestly, I feel like Amber should have been in a situation, or they should have put if Amber is also in a situation, because too many times during the whole courting, that Amber would be like, oh, I saw this one thing online, so now that I'm in court again, let me retract that or reword it to make myself look like in a good light. Like the makeup thing, that was all over the line.
I mean, who did she says she told them I used this product line to cover it up. The fucking makeup company's like, hold up, no, you didn't, because that shit come out a year after that picture. We didn't even put that makeup line out yet. You know? Oh, he destroyed the trailer at the park. The manager says he broke a sconce. And hell, we don't even know that he broke the sconce for sure. Nobody was in the trailer but the two of them.
So it was the makeup palettes. One of the trials, she wore bee earrings because the whole meme of her dog stepped on a bee. And then she was using water bottles with some kind of substance in it. And after that was spread all over the line, the next day, the one of the officers checked one of her water bottles, and it was like, it's only too late, dude. She's already seen everybody noticing what she's putting down. Like there's something obviously fishy with her water bottle, and now you're gonna check it. I would, if I was them, I would check it every single day. They already knew she had a drug addiction. They already knew she already had an alcohol addiction, just like Johnny. Check both of their bottles. I don't care. Somebody was palming some things and having them in the water bottles. There was something obviously fishy, and it should have been cause for question from the very beginning. Not going, okay, let's have Amber keep on, like, there should have been like Amber and Johnny should have been in the same situation the jury should have been in. You're not allowed to go online. You're not allowed to do research. You're not, like, you were in a hotel, no internet. You better have some books and some video games, keep you busy.
My favorite thing is she maintained all the way through the trial that she did not write the op-ed about him. And then in the last damn day, that's why I wrote the op-ed. You fucking idiot. Like, what lawyer lets her get on the I mean, they did so good keeping her away from that shit, and then they just let her hang herself last day.
She couldn't keep it. She couldn't keep it up. She couldn't keep her information in check.
And you seen that shit spread all over the courtroom. As soon as she said it, everybody was turning around looking at each other like, "What the fuck did we just hear?" And just she didn't even catch it.
my favorite moment in the entire thing was the TMZ guy when he looked at the other lawyer and said, "Yeah, if I'm up here trying to get rep and trying to get a notification or trying to get fame from being here on the jury, so are you by the
Taking
famous
her as a
Amber Heard."
client.
And the
Yeah.
guys in the background going, "Oh!" like, oh, that was great. The dude in the background was the funniest part of the entire thing. There was other people in the court, people turning the face away, but like you know what they were doing. Like moments like that in the entire thing, and the woman did cry. I do feel bad for the judges. Honestly, the judges that had to defend Amber Heard, I like while they didn't do a good job, I wouldn't hire them. Debbie did not make them look very smart, very good, but I do feel bad for them because they had to make an Amber Turd into a nugget, and that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
There was no diamond. There was no code to diamonds for this one.
Well, here's the thing. If Johnny was so bad, he beat the shit out of people so bad, right? Why the hell is one of his ex-girlfriends at a concert in Europe with him right now? I mean, and my thing, the funniest shit I seen was when she told him on a text, "Why would the bud want you anyway? You're just an old, fat, out-of-work actor." Next thing you know, they released 3 fucking badass trailers for this shit, and he's looking like Rockstar King up in this shit, and you're like, old, fat, I'm not seeing the shit. You know?
Okay, but we'll never have another Jack Sparrow again. But at least
I beg to differ. I think that shit will change.
But he said not even for $10 million or whatever, and a million alpacas.
I notice he said $10 million and a million alpacas. $1 million and one and $11 million is more than that. Damn it!
When they said it in court and you saw Johnny laughing, I'm like, he was trying to make a meme out of that. And like, successful, we have launch. Like that was just a meme moment. Like, why would he say a million alpacas? It's like because he wants to make it a funny and memeable thing.
Well, my funny thing was when they had the damn producer for fucking Aquaman there on the screen, and they're asking him questions, and they're like, "Well, was your because they had thought about not hiring her for Aquaman 2. Was that based on any of this?" He's like, "No, honestly, we had already been thinking about that since the end of Aquaman 1 because Jason Momoa and her didn't have very good chemistry, which made it very hard for us to edit the video. It made it hard for us to make a marketable product. We had been considering it, from the end of that movie, which was long before any of this had come to light. And honestly, if we had released her, it wouldn't have been based on this. It would have been purely based on the fact that we were wanting to get someone with more chemistry in there. Which is why they scaled her part back dramatically in Aquaman 2 to I think she's got maybe 10, 15 minutes of screen time. Maybe.
They brought up Edward Scissorhands one time during the psychological evaluation. So that one guy was evaluating Johnny on his movies, based on his movies, not rather on the person himself. Their anime, but it was very brief and very short. But not Scissorhands 2. They were doing off 1. I feel like that this all came for the betterment, and I hope this again, I don't want the movement to end, but I wanted to feel like there's still a fighting chance, but I feel like you need to be rich and famous in order to still have a fighting chance. And I don't think that should be a thing. I think everybody should have a chance in life and society. And I'm glad it's over. Honestly, I am kind of glad it's over because that's all it was on everybody's lips for days and days and days, all over Twitter and all over. So
I enjoyed it just from the pure comedy show that her legal team was.
Yeah, that was great. I watched a couple of streamers doing their thoughts on the theme, which honestly made it a little bit more enjoyable at times. Okay, so other day, or just yesterday, I was on YouTube I wasn't searching up anything, right? So let me preface this. Wasn't searching up anything, and a video came up called. I see the video up here. Give me a second here. Um, Make money online watching YouTube videos, and I'm going, what? And this guy has. I'm not gonna call his name out here, but it's a video. He has 226K views. He has over 251K subscriptions. Very close. That's kind of an odd number right there, but I'll go with that a little later on. And he's showing you step by step how to make money by watching YouTube. While I and you know where I'm going to go here because I've already brought this up beforehand. I want to know if that with this, you're going to get paid to watch YouTube videos. What do you automatically think in your head that means? You're probably a good way of making money, right?
Yep.
And if somebody's out there, let's say once, if again, it's one of those things. You give somebody an initial, take a mile. If you give some way to find a way to optimize that to make a lot of money, somebody will, right?
Right.
Doesn't make it right. The question is, in my mind, no, it does not make it right. Because what they're pretty much doing is they're paying for you to watch videos that you, on the other hand, probably wouldn't watch in the first place or even see in the first place to bolster other YouTube channels.
Right.
What's that sound like to you?
Just like botting, but without bots.
And of course, everybody knows that this is, what's the word for it? Well, I think everybody think this is morally wrong, is morally incorrect. You shouldn't do that kind of things. But the moment people thinks, oh, but you can make money off of it, does that make it right? You can sell drugs and make money off of it. Does that make it right? You can be a hooker off the street, make money. Does that make it right? You could be a pimp. Does that make it right? No, no, and no. Hell, you could be an assassin. Does that make it right? No.
Depends on who I'm killing.
That's what most people would say. But there's a lot of more things out there. People go, but you're making money off of it. What's the harm? You're growing people's channels, and this website not only introduces Facebook, also introduced YouTube, of course, and introduced Twitter as well. And they're paying people to go on there. Not only like you could pay for comments, you could pay for likes. And what would that do if you want to get out a message out there that was incorrect, false, or downright a lie, let's say for political and financial reasons, to bolster your ideology to make you look like you're correct because all these other people are saying you're right? Does that sound like something I brought up a couple of weeks back?
Yep.
Now imagine if you had real comments and likes on your things. Think of some things. Go ahead, this spitball.
Cost of gas, cost of housing, workspace environment.
I can think of one. But it was the biggest and fairest election of years. It has never been the most fair. It's always been the most fair election of all times. And going online and saying it was clearly not rigged at all. That's a possibility. Not saying it happened. Not saying that it would happen. But if I was somebody out there that had a lot of money and a lot of gains behind doing this kind of things and going online and view botting or downvoting or commenting on people's thoughts and opinions about subject matter like that, and going and ratioing them to hell, it really can put a damper of the truth that you're trying to get out there.
Right.
That could really make you look like the idiot and the fool. And when everybody sees the majority, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, but this is right, this is right. Some people let's be real here. I said it before. Don't look up online. Go figure out what's truth and what's lies, and we'll just follow everybody else because they said that.
Yep.
Like, if this people have said that, it must be true.
Right.
So this website is paying people, and I'm thinking, should this be legal?
No.
Think about it. Like,
I mean,
it should.
if you're gonna go that far, though, you have to be honest. There's a lot of things that fall in that category. Then.
Okay.
I mean, it's not just view botting. It's not just watching YouTube videos and bolstering numbers. I mean, hell, we bolster numbers every day. Major corporations do it all the time with their books. You know, government does it to our budgets for the country. I mean, it's not there's always a way to make something not be morally accurate. You know, there's always a way to pervert things. I mean, if I wanted to, hell, I could pervert that light strip back there if I really wanted to. Don't want to, but I could. I could make it into any kind of shape I want to, and you guys would see it on my back wall. Should I do that? Could I do that? I could do it. I shouldn't do it. It comes right back to the same discussion we had earlier. It's about intent and what you intend to do. I mean, if you're genuinely just trying to get people a job and have them make some money to bolster the economy, it's not a bad idea. It gives them something they can do at home. But at the same time, if you're doing it out of the intent to bolster yourself and make someone else look like a fool, no, it's not right. How do you differentiate between the two? Who has the authority to police that? Basically, is what it comes down to.
Gotcha. Okay, so my mind is thinking, let's say it was illegal, right? Let's just say if it was outlawed, and it was a American-based company,
right?
But they broadcast this thing to other nations to be able to do it as well,
right?
But it's still illegal here. Should it be allowed to expand outside the country when that thing is illegal?
Here's the thing, though. We don't have jurisdiction outside of our country. That falls into each independent country's view of whatever it is that's being offered. I can sit here and have 20,000 babies if I wanted to. And that's not illegal in our country. But in some countries, having more than one or two, it's fucking illegal. And they'll take that child and it'll be gone. It's just the way it is. It's about individual countries and how they look at things. Like some countries don't look at certain drugs as being illegal because it's a form of revenue for the country.
Okay. Even though it's American based and it's American made.
Once it leaves the border, I'm not saying it should be allowed. What I'm saying is what the difficulties in doing what you're implying is. So once it leaves our borders, it doesn't matter if it's based here or not. Once it's outside of our borders and our jurisdiction, that's up to the individual countries that's receiving and or repeating this technology or event to decide whether it's illegal in their country or not. Because, hey, I can start a company and the government can tell me tomorrow that it's illegal. But if I've expanded to, say, Wavo or something and it's not illegal there, hell, they can keep on going and I'm still getting revenue stream off of it because guess what? I patented the idea. It's illegal. I'm not doing it anymore, but fuck, I got a patent. They got to pay me to do it.
Okay, because like that's like some of the problems with let's say like Twitter, where freedom of speech is allowed in America, and you're supposed to be allowed to say whatever you want within a certain with certain boundaries, right? But as soon as it's able to be used by, let's say, England, that they want to restrict freedom of speech. It's like, but it's an American-based company. It's in America. We made it, so we're gonna have freedom of speech. And if your country uses it,
it's no different than us making movies here that we don't deem inappropriate, that we deem perfectly fine, but some countries say no, it's illegal to watch that movie in this country. That shit's going on right now, today, in China.
Okay,
and so what that is it's American made, American based, but that country's saying no, fuck you ain't.
Well, okay, that's the thing though. It's because other countries are saying no, you can't do that. Should the company do that for everybody then? It's like, hey, this country says no, but your country that you're from says yes. But this country saying no, so everybody gets no.
No, because that's not fair. That's taking individual rights and decisions away from people.
Yeah, that's what England's trying to do with Twitter since Elon's trying to get freedom of speech on the platform. England is trying to say, yeah, no to that. Our country says no, so no. But like, we are freedom of speech. If your citizens use our platform and they say something that's not freedom of speech, and you might want to be making your own.
So here's the thing. The problem with that is again, like I said, yes, it's U.S. based, it's U.S. built, but once it hits their borders, that shit is going through their service, their cell service, their towers, their repeaters and shit, and they can say no fuck, not in my shit, and there ain't a damn thing nobody can do about it.
Yeah, but they try to enforce it on Americans as well. So like
they can't do that. Though.
Make your own. Well, they're trying.
They can't. They can't.
They are trying though, and I'm in mind of like, hey, if you don't want Twitter in your nation, maybe just don't have Twitter in your nation. I don't know what to say. It's like
that's exactly the point I'm making. It's up to them to say no here, but they can't say no over here because they're not our ruling government body. They don't have the right to do that. Now, if our ruling body bends over and kisses its ankles and takes one up the ass, then guess what we're going to do? We're not going to have it either. Because that's the way that shit works. We follow what our governing body lays down. If their body and our body get together and they do a little jiggy and somebody gets happy, hell, we may be saying bye to Twitter or bye to whatever.
Okay. They'll be saying bye. We'll be still using it.
Well, I mean, you say that, but I mean, what happens if the president and the ambassador get together from England and the ambassador is like, hey, I'll hook you up. We'll get you a little bit of this debt taken care of, for the country. Just make this shit go away. And then the president says, guess what? Twitter's illegal. Then guess what we got to do? We got to follow what our governing body says. But barring something stupid like that happening, they can't just say, no, you can't do that anymore. They don't rule us. They're not our ruling body.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really see the government as ruling body very much, and that's a sad thing. But okay, let's jump topic here, and our last one would be because we brought this up before. We could jump into, but my thought is because a lot of games more and more nowadays are having payable systems where you can pay money into video games to help you in your video games. And I know you gave me your opinions before, but I want to jump into more of a direct way. What in your mind would make a game actually truly pay to win? And do you think that this is where games are heading to more and more, where money is going to be what pushes your character, your account forward?
All right, my opinion of pay to win is if I can go and buy an OP character out the gate. Mm-hmm. Like level, I enter the game, I'm level 1 and I'm like, fuck this, I don't want to be level 1. I'm going to buy me a level 100 that's got the ability to smite God. That's pay to win. Or if I'm buying armor that gives my level 1 character the ability to smite God, that's pay to win. Barring that, I don't call anything pay to win, because at that point, like, okay, for example, a game that we both play, Genshin. I can go and spend money and get a bunch of damn wishes and pull a good weapon, but that weapon, even at its max power, is not necessarily going to make a level 20 god. You understand what I'm saying? You still got to
Yes.
work for it.
Okay.
Whereas if that same level 20 get now. What I was saying is that if I take that same level 20 and I buy that exact same weapon and suddenly he's more powerful than any level 90 or 100 in the game, then that's pay to win. You know.
Okay, so World of Warcraft you can pay to get a max level character, but you can't immediately you can smite everything underneath that level, but at your level you can't smite everything.
Right, that's not pay to win to me because you still have to put effort into leveling.
Yeah, and you also can pay people. Well, you can buy gold in the game that can pay people to help you do things that will get you the best gear in the game. Would that be considered pay win, even though it's one extra step?
Yes, but it's not because it's. I wouldn't say the game is designed for that. That's people taking advantage of the game. At that point, that's not the game being pay to win. That's the players figuring out how to pay to win.
Okay.
There's a difference. So, like, if I can go and buy, like, I can go farm this one resource, right?
Yeah.
And sit there and I know that this resource is coveted. Everybody wants it because it makes them stupid powerful, and they're going to pay me all their gold to get it, right? Okay, that's not, the game wasn't developed for that, but someone like me figured out that I could do that. Now they're paying me to win. They're not paying the game, they're paying another character. So the game is not play to win, but the gameplay becomes capable of being play to win.
Okay, let's say you're a developer. You think you should stop that kind of things, or you think you should just well, technically they're not doing anything illegal against that term of service, but they find a way.
That's a fine line to walk because there's some games that that can be really taken advantage of. And there's some games that it's just enough to skirt you by.
Yeah.
So what I would say is that if you truly develop your game and your intention is it to not be play to win at all, then you should develop it kind of like Genshin does. There's no tradable items, and I can't sell you shit. Okay. You have to work your ass off to get it.
So there's a game, and I talked about it before, Diablo Immortal.
Diablo Mortal Kombat.
Well, not Mortal Kombat. Diablo Immortal.
What's up, Great Lamino?
Hey, Great Lamino. What's up? Welcome. But cancel video games. Wish you could have a play. Future topic. Canceled video games you wish you could have played. Ooh, okay, that might be an interesting one. But okay, so Diablo Immortal's coming out, and there's going to be systems in the game and ways to power level your character that they've already done the math for. So somebody out there has already done the math and the probability of getting these items in the game as a free-to-play player.
Yeah.
Over the people that are paying for the game.
Right.
And there's items that a player within the game's lifetime will never be able to access on a free-to-play. And then that scale is so high of items they can get, because it's kind of weird. They can get these items that would boast to their characters.
Right.
But then those items, and there's like a level 5, there's a 5-star gem in the game, or or epic, you might say legendary star gem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 6 other gems before that. A possibility to get it. But just getting one of these is 1 in 2,000. Every 2,000 pulls, you might get one.
Okay.
But out of that one, there's 5 different scales of that one gem. It's a 1-star, a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star. And that number gets harder and harder to get as well. So it's only 1 in 2,000 just to get one of those gems. Then just getting one of those gems, you might get a 1-star. You might get a 2-star. You might get a 3-star. But getting a 4 and 5 stars is practically impossible. Unless you pay a lot of money in the game. But then when you get that gem too makes no sense. Also, you can put gems in it. That could be a 5-star, a 1-star, a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4-star, or a 5-star. And when you put a 5-star in that gem into that gem, that, you see what I'm saying? It's infinitely scalable. And the more money you put in the game to buy these items, the more it scales, right? It just so at what point does that become pay to win?
It's play to win at the point where the 1 in 2,000 is not too bad. Is when it becomes 1 in 5 at 2,000 of getting the best one. That is the point it becomes play to win, because at that point now it's damn near impossible.
Yeah, and that to me is purposely making a game like that being a game where they are relying on you or pretty much dependent on you to put money in the game.
Yep.
And it's one of those fishing things, right? They fish for you, and once you get a nibble on it, they know you come for a back for another. That's all they're waiting for until they hook you. Like they're saying, okay, if you're okay putting that much money in it, at one point would you put more money into it? You might, it might become like a subscription base. Like, oh, I gotta make sure I put my money for this week. I haven't done that yet. It's it's a habit of mine, but I'm okay with it. And next time I go, but here's something else that costs a little bit more money. You're okay buying that. You're okay buying this, and it's
yep.
thing that just never stops until people find out, wait, how much money put in this game? And the game's dead? That's my biggest concern.
So here's the downside. Like, I agree with you. The game dying after putting money into it sucks. And you're right. I think that's kind of shitty, but at the same time, that game's architecture has to be supported somehow.
Yes.
So somehow they have to make money. Whether it be based off of logins, some sponsor says, hey, we're going to give you $5 every time someone logs in. Boom, now you're making revenue. Or whatever. They have to get paid somehow. So, unfortunately, what has become very easy now is to put in pay to win type systems. So, okay, here's the basic overworld. Everybody can play it for free. But if you want to be God out the gate, you spend $30. Okay, now that's $30 times however many users. Now they've got that bankroll to support their architecture. Problem is that's a slippery slope, because then eventually they realize, hey, they're paying us pretty good money for this shit. Let's slip a little more in there, and now we're not just trying to upkeep the game and upkeep everything. Now we're trying to line our pockets. So
power becomes absolute corrupt.
Right. So I mean, the problem is anytime you deal with anything that has any kind of monetary value trade or whatever system in it, it's never going to be completely moral. It can't be, because at some point somebody is going to try to make more than their fair share.
Yeah, it's kind of like a video game's been active for several years now, where it used to be about the game's quality and how good it was, made them a lot of money that way. But then they started to figure out, okay, how we can make the game come out faster? How can we make it for a little bit cheaper? How can we make it a little bit quicker, instead of just making a quality, good game that takes years to make, that's going to be worth every penny somebody puts in, and makes them a lot of money and gives them a lot of rep because of that.
Which is why I was such a big supporter of the remake of Final Fantasy. They took years to develop that fucking game. They released one DLC after it was done that you had to purchase. Only one. You know what I think the DLC was for? So they could support their shit while they write the second one. They only wrote enough to keep themselves going, right? That I look at that company and go, you know what? Kudos to you. You're trying to do right by me, and I'm down with that. You
It's
know,
kind of like
but
Breath
at
of
the
the
same
Wild.
time, then you have these other games out there that put far less effort into it, but then they want you to spend a shitload of money to keep to buy this or that or the other, and it turns into a big thing. Like, here's my point to anybody. You seen this last night. The proof that Genshin is not pay to win. How many wishes did I bank before I did that pull?
70.
Okay. Out of those wishes, maybe 10 of them were earned from my blessing of whatever, which I spent $5 on. Okay. Those 10 doesn't guarantee me that character. It's 10.
No.
But I busted my ass to get all the other ones. Okay. So to me, it's not pay to win. It's maybe pay for what I would call enhancement, you know, pay for enjoyment sake. If you want a little extra, like a cooler outfit or, you know, a slightly better, you know, this or that. Hell, I can't even buy scrolls, man. You know, I would be up in your face buying scrolls from you if I could buy scrolls. I can't. You just can't do it. It's not in the game. And hell, even if you did manage to spend enough money to buy enough wishes to guarantee you to pull the character that you wanted, that shit still starts at 1.
Can you buy more in the game?
No. I have not yet seen a way to purchase more. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let's say, like, if you could buy more in that game, or buy leveling materials, and if you could buy scrolls, you know, with like, you could buy money and then take that money and buy, or not buy, but if you could take money, buy items in the game that makes you be able to purchase Mora, and then be able to buy scrolls or use that to buy leveling materials, and then you just take a day one character and automatically level it that day to level 90, and then C6 hits, like, you know, like that. Would that be considered pay to win?
But there, yeah, I would think if you could do that, maybe. The problem is that there's no way you can do that in a day. No way. You would have to buy so much Mora, and then you would have to buy so much materials, so many wishes, or primos to get wishes, or whatever. You'd have to buy so much of that shit. The hell, you know how many wishes it would take to C6? Because you're talking 90 to get it, to guarantee you're getting it, and then another, if it's an orange, another 90 for every C, and they have to be up on the banner.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just that. I mean, they wrote that shit to where, oh, it might be possible, but it's so ridiculously difficult and time consuming. No fucking body wants to do it.
that Tectone guy spent $500 trying to get to get two of the new characters to see one her and one bow.
Yeah, like 70 to 80.
$500.
You're absolutely right. And I would agree, Lambino. I think pay to win is mainly is mainly a PvP type of a game, type of a scenario where that's where it actually matters. Because let's be honest, if me and you are running around and I bought a level 90 character out the gate and we're doing a quest, you're gonna be happy I'm smiting every fucking thing so you can get your drops. Okay, you're not going to be bitching about that at all. But where you're going to get pissed off is if me and you go into a PvP round and you beat my ass, and then I'm like, give me 5 minutes, and I go buy this badass character and come back and stomp a mud hole in you. That's where you're going to be mad at.
Well, it goes for me is PvP is one of the primaries, like you said, Labino. But second one is if there's way to make money in the game. Let's say competitions or time events like the, let's say, who has the best record doing this or that, and I make money, or there's like actual competing like whether or not it's not between me and you, doing this thing is between me and you, and who could do the best. And if I'm making money off of it, and there's a way to pay to win, then we have a little issue. Because if I go do something with my free account and I do it, let's say 5 minutes, but someone pays and is able to do it 1 minute because they bought and paid for everything in their account, and now they're able to do it within 1 minute of spot time, I'm gonna feel like it's a little cheap.
It's like me with Fable 2. When I get to the point that I can start purchasing houses, after I purchase maybe the first 6, I log off for 8 hours. You know why? Because for that 8 hours, I'm collecting money, but I'm not accumulating game time. So when I log back in, you know what I do? Go buy more houses, log back off for another 8 hours. Eventually, I own everything in that entire map. And when I log off for 8 hours of gameplay and I log back in, I'm never poor. There's never an item that I cannot buy. There's never a woman in the game I cannot woo because I can go buy whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be like you're not gonna do that with someone else out there in the competition to try to make some money, right?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you know that trick and you're doing something, say like me and Stealthy do with the game competition, that's not fair because they don't know the trick. If they don't know the trick, then they're screwed. Because by day 4, I've got all the money I'll ever need in the entire game. Now I don't have to wait and go farm money or any of that. Hell, I just go and buy the potions I need to level myself up because in that game, the way you get skill is you buy potions and you drink them and they increase certain skills.
That you're aware of, but the other person is not.
Yeah.
But if you put money in the game to make money, then okay. Yeah. So that's where I want to get at. I think the Diablo game, I'm a mind of like Lost Ark. I don't know if you know about Lost Ark. It's another MMO, but it's top base down. They have a limiter on how much money you pay. 5,000. That's it. You cannot spend more than $5,000 actually in the game. They put a limiter on that, which I don't know is 5,000. I know it's a pretty high number, but it's like a high number, but it's at a point like, hey, I want to give you more money if I have it, and they're like, no. And I think that's a bit commendable. It's like, hey, we could take more of your money, but we think you should stop. Just stop. Like, do it later. You don't need it right now. We're good. I promise you. And I think that should be the same thing with some video games out there. If I spend $500 at Genshin Impact and I want to get one banner character, stop me, Hoyoverse. I don't think I should be putting more money in that. Honestly, I think I should stop at 300. But that's my personal thing. But they're like, no, we don't care. Just keep on giving. Yeah, come on. We'll take it gladly. We have no problem with this. And I think more companies like their game companies that are making money off the player base and supporting their game should all be in a like, okay, how can we save face and not look like we're just greedy and just want more money? But if we're either we're pay to win or not.
And you're right, Anime. It does come down to there's always a way to beat whatever. It's just about what you're willing to do.
Oh, some people are willing to do whatever it takes. They don't care. And again, like I said before, if you're a person out there who puts money in video games, I've done it before in the past. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I have a personal thing when I think it's worth money. You have a different thing where you think it's worth money. Well, so if you think that paying money in a game is worth money, then good for you.
Here's the example. I work all day. I don't have the opportunity to play as much as other people. So I spend $5 every once in a while so that I get primos to substitute for that. But it's $5. $5.
Yeah.
I'm not putting 5,000. I'm not putting 500. $5. There should always, if you're going to play a game that has the ability for you to spend money, you should always put a limit on yourself as to how much you are willing to spend at any given time.
Yeah, some people don't have no limits, and because they enjoy it. They enjoy that kind of things, and I'm like, I feel like I'm like my parents with me collecting figurines. They're always like, "Why are you wasting money on that? Why are you wasting money on that?" It's like, it's because of what I enjoy. I don't want to tell anybody out there why you're wasting money on spending stuff in a video game. It's all digital stuff. Why you care? It's because it's what you enjoy. I get that. I'm right behind you on that. But the other thing is there should be just a little bit of a limits of how much, and if it's pay to win, I don't think you should be just going, oh well, I can never stop this. This is the inevitability. I mean, this is what I must do to be good at this game. It's pay to win. Kind of like countries that just rolled over. There's a reason why countries split apart because absolutely power corrupts. And just like that, video games, it will eventually corrupt, and you need to stay and stand on your 2 feet and walk away and make a new country like people made new video games before. And that's just how it is for this games. I don't like the way it's going, and I hope it stops. But I don't know if it's gonna stop. And people are just defeatists. They're giving up. They're giving up, and I don't like that. I don't know. So, okay, that's it for this week. I hope everybody had a good time. We went over a little bit, but because we had a little hard time starting the day, so I think we're okay with that. We'll be live again next week on 5 o'clock Street time. I will be going live within the hour or so. Need to eat something, maybe a little longer.
I will be live too.
So we're gonna probably do a dual stream. Maybe I have both of us pulled up, so if you want to watch that. And if you're interested in merchandise, they're not down below just yet. I put them in the chat a few minutes ago, but I'll put them down below again in the description section. And be sure to leave a comment. If you're in the chat right now, just leave a comment afterwards telling what your thoughts and opinions on a certain topic. Please, we are 11 away from 100. I know it's a big ask, but please help me out, help us grow. And as always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all. Bye.